Take a look at this.
Great! Let's do this one run Getsu style, guys!
All right, now it's up to you.
All right, everything's all fixed up. Now to polish this ship from top to bottom.
You really throw your back into your work, don't you?
Why shouldn't I? The Von Eltia is our pride and joy, our weapon. And most importantly, our home.
I'm sure you've heard this before, but she's one odd-looking ship.
The Von Eltia was built by the Kingdom 12 years ago, using the very best technology available. She was designed for search and seizure operations on the high seas. Apparently, her unusual design comes from an engineer who is familiar with technology from the far continent.
But on her maiden voyage, a string of mysterious accidents took the lives of the captain, then the second, and then the third in command. People thought the ship was bad luck. She was about to be scrapped when Captain Eifried came and snatched her for himself.
If the ship was bad luck, why did Eifried want it?
Well, I'm sure part of it was that he wanted a sturdy ship, capable of reaching the far continent. But when I asked him why, he said, "She looks interesting."
She's too interesting if you ask me. We've been chased by storms, struck by icebergs, attacked by a giant whale. You name it.
3 years ago when the first mate arrived, it all made sense. To think we'd been haunted by a Reaper the whole time.
Oh, come on. Don't go blaming the captain and the first mate for every bad thing that happens. I bet you're all just frustrated because you're forced to go where they tell you.
None of us are forced to be here. We're here because we choose to be here. And we do so fully knowing what sort of men the captain and the first mate are.
Anyone can leave the crew whenever they like. We're free pirates, each of us, here because we want to be. Some of us love adventure, some are looking to test their fate, and some are just searching for a good place to die. We're a ragtag bunch of rogues, that's for sure. But not a one of us has died carrying regret or resentment.
So we're glad to help out you and yours. But you'd best not forget what we stand for.
I won't.
They're quite the crew, aren't they?
Were all those accidents truly caused by your power?
Yeah. I've been searching far and wide for a way to lift the Reaper's curse. But when I couldn't find a single thread to follow on this continent, I turned my eyes to the other side of the ocean.
And that's why you boarded this ship.
And a fine ship she is. The Von Eltia was built from 1,000-year-old wood, you know. Before I found my coin, she was my vessel. But then the accidents came.
And then Eifried stole the ship. Did he know you were on board?
Definitely. He had pretty solid resonance going for him. Although at first, I think he assumed I was just a dour-eyed lubber worthy of little notice.
I suppose being a Reaper tends to take its toll like that.
No argument there. But still, whether they could see me or not, they didn't act any differently at all. I fought my damn curse with everything I had. And Eifried and his crew fought right along with me. Hell, we even finally made it to the far continent.
And you didn't find anything there? To help with your curse?
I didn't even look.
But that's why you went there, isn't it?
Eventually, I just got tired of fighting back. The crew, they taught me how to feel alive. And the joy of pursuing my dreams alongside good friends.
The Bloodwing butterflies operate in the Empire's shadows. Not even the Abbey knows their full scope beyond whispers and rumor. And you all have a connection to them, don't you?
Dark and interconnected is the underworld. We've heard voices in the shadows, glimpsed faces behind paper-thin masks.
The attack on High Priest Gideon. Was that at their behest?
Yeah, the Bloodwings asked us to take him out.
We did it in exchange for information that could lead us to Artorias.
Information? You would assassinate a man for mere information?
Yes, information on the shepherd who rules the world. Not a bad deal if you ask me.
We just work with them when our interests align. Nothing more.
That's the kind of thin justification I'd expect to hear from them, too.
But the Bloodwings were acting upon knowledge that the High Priest was harming the people of the city.
You're right. The incident with the nectar was the Church's failing. And it seems that the Bloodwing Butterfly Network goes further and deeper than we had thought.
They knew about the barrier at the throne, too.
And Velvet's expertise at dove mimicry.
Would you stop bringing that up?
Dove mimicry? What does that mean?
I have no idea.
There was a dove near the dock checkpoint. That's all.
Huh?
Right! It was a black, full-chested dove, wasn't it? Cuckoo!
A black, full-chested dove? Is that some sort of underworld code word?
Here we are, back in LOEGRES. It was a lot tougher to get in the first time.
More funny than tough, if you ask me.
Oh, you mean Velvet's little dove act? Coo, coo!
I'd be careful teasing her if I were you. You know how she can get.
Oh, don't act like you didn't enjoy it too. I'm sure you did, right? Good little boys don't lie to adults, you know.
I might have. Just a little.
Say it like a dove.
It was funny. Coo, coo.
Is Inominat's book so difficult? Grimoire seemed perplexed by it.
Yeah. She said it was written in ancient Avarost, a language that uses Impressionist script.
I've never heard of Impressionist script.
Each character can have many different meanings and readings, depending on the emotion it's expressing and the way it relates to the characters around it. Some modest records on its grammar and structure survive, but none that say how to read the emotion the characters express. Grimoire said that you have to recreate the writer's feelings as a sort of starting point in order to read it.
I see. And you have a talent for that sort of thing?
I guess I do.
But a script based on emotions? That's as far removed from modern language as can be.
Yeah, it's completely unrelated apparently.
How can it be completely unrelated?
After the temperance of Avarost, the entirety of human civilization vanished. The language went with it.
Much as a blooming flower loses its petals. The Avarost civilization grew too far and came to its final end. The surviving buildings and ancient tools, the likes of which our technology cannot replicate, were the beginning of that end.
In any case, it sounds like deciphering that writing will take quite a while.
I'll show you the beauty of my spirit!
Ready to die? Think you can dodge? Just try! Perfect mayhem! Let's go! You're wide open! Who wants them next? This is the Reaper's power. Let's go! Die!
Where in the world do you hide all of that paper?
Here. And here.
He's taking it all off!
can do this!
Wide open! Die or be killed!
This fight is over!
Man, the capital sure is big.
Yeah, with historical buildings and artisans and all, there's much of interest here for a boy who loves to learn.
Uh-huh.
Sightseeing's nice and all, but don't wander off and get lost.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Don't worry about him. He can take care of himself.
I know, I was just saying.
You look like travelers. I have some good news for you. The restrictions on travel to the Aldina Plains are going to be lifted soon. The road's opening back up!
So, that's the latest word on the streets?
I see what you did there.
I try to liven things up around here.
Well, ever since Lord Artorius became the Shepherd, demon attacks have gone down. The world's filled with hardships, but perhaps things are starting to go in the right direction.
Perhaps. The demons who nearly destroyed Halaves are still skipping about on the loose, though.
What?
And just the other day, a village near Salt was destroyed by the demon blight. Guess the capital doesn't mind, though.
What?
Don't worry about it. Your shepherd and the abbey are going to save the world, right?
Listening to you has kinda gotten me all nervous again. If you hear any other scary stories, let me know, please.
I've got one with fresh blood, melted bodies. Oh, maybe that tale about the demon doll that comes alive.
If you're going to waste time, we're leaving you here.
Well, that's enough of this detour then. Sorry to be such a drag.
Wait! That doll one sounded really cool!
What's with this crowd?
Modulu's troupe just put on a real show. Man, it was the best! Her dancing was every bit as great as I'd heard.
Wow, the Modulu?
Surely you mean Mogilu. Has my time to bask in fame finally come at long last?
No, we're talking about Majulu, not Mogilu.
You know, Lulu, the famous dancer? She actually goes by the majestic Lulu, but everyone calls her Modulu.
Just watching the beauty of her dance, you can't help but feel like maybe everything's gonna turn out okay in the world.
Sounds like a pretty cheerful act she has.
Cheerful? This is all a ripoff! She's just trying to pass off as Mogilu's menagerie and profit from our good name!
What good name? We don't actually perform anything.
I was planning on getting started eventually, but now this con artist comes along and ruins everything!
I can't just ignore that, you know. It's Modulu!
You did great today, Majulu. I loved it.
Thank you so much. But according to my teacher, I still have a long way to go. I'll work hard to do better next time, so I hope you'll come see me.
Modulu's teacher is a dancer named Balta, whose immense talent brought him all the fame in the world. But Balta suffered a tragic injury that took him forever from the stage, and now Modulu is working hard to carry on his dream.
So, you're Modulu then?
I am. My teacher and I work really hard to put on performances that'll leave a lasting impact. And I refuse to let anyone call me a phony.
Oh? And how do you propose supposed to stop me? Taking it to the stage and seeing which one of us can better hold a crowd?
Yes, that's just what I was hoping for.
Lulu, don't go around picking petty fights.
But sir, this woman, she...
You should know better. If you have the energy to spare spitting vitriol at people, you should refocus that anger into moving your body. If you need to express yourself, do it on the stage.
Yes, sir. You're right. Teacher, is the pain acting up again?
It's no matter. What does pain compare to losing the ability to dance? Anyway, what matters is how you're holding up.
I'm fine, sir.
Good, then let's head back and practice some more.
He seems strict.
He does. But keep in mind that Balta recognized her talent at a young age. He even adopted her so he could pass on everything he knew. He might be strict, but only because he believes in her.
You sure know an awful lot about them.
I'm sort of a fan of theirs, you could say.
A teacher and his student, chasing after the same dream. What a sweet little story they have. That's why I think it's high time for Magilou's Menagerie to put on a show. And for our act, we'll be a comedy duo.
Comedy? Where'd you get that idea?
You heard me propose a challenge to little Magilou, right? But not one of you knows a single acrobatic trick.
Sorry. Don't apologize. You couldn't have seen this coming.
Well, you could act like you feel a little bad at least. Now, normally I'd make you guys do something flashy like jump through a ring of fire, but I'll be magnanimous and let you do comedy instead. With comedy, I can take control of the stage and keep things lively. I can feed you the audience on a platter.
But going on the same stage as Magilou, it's too much to handle.
Oh, I can't wait to take her down a peg or two.
I'm out. I don't even know why you're bothering. It's hopeless.
It's not hopeless. Plus, if we do well, we'll be raking in the dough. What better opportunity do we have to get started than now? After all, people will come thinking we're Magilou's troupe.
You're sure eager to profit off of her good name.
That's exactly the material I want. Keep throwing out such zingers and the audience will be in stitches.
I'm not sure I follow, but okay.
The only thing getting thrown out is gonna be you.
You know, I think you could pull off being the straight man in our act.
What? Keep your compliments to yourself.
This plan might sound dumb, but more money never hurts.
Eisen, not you too.
Then it's settled. Now we just need to book ourselves a few gigs. I've got an in with all the stage directors in town. For now, I think everyone should pair up so we can figure out just what sort of comedy chops you all have. Everybody?
Even me?
Certainly. Each one of you is a part of Magilou's Menagerie, after all.
I'm not so sure about this.
Whenever I hear Magilou's name, I can't help but think of Magilanica.
Magilanica? Who's that?
Oh, she's just a girl who worked as part of the freak show. Talked to spirits nobody else could see.
That's her, all right. She had many mysterious powers, like moving things without touching them and divining where people would find lost objects. For a time, people called her the Little Witch. She was pretty popular.
Thanks to her, the rest of the troupe took in plenty of cash, or so I hear.
Yeah, but eventually they took it too far, and the kingdom tried them for heresy. I hear Magilanica was subjected to really brutal torture.
True fact. Everyone knows this story.
Well, I've never heard it.
That's not too surprising. It all took place when I was a young woman myself.
Remind me, Magilou. How old are you again?
What? How old would you say I am?
Well, from your reaction, I can at least tell you're not my age.
When will the High Priest return to us?
Keep this between us, but I heard Lord Gideon was killed by demons.
Surely that's not true.
It most certainly is true.
Hey, shh! They'll hear you.
I know someone who works in the palace, and he said the demon was a girl with the head of a wolf and the body of a gorilla.
But how could a demon have gotten into the palace?
Apparently, there was a power struggle among the higher-ups, and Gideon's enemies snuck the demon into his villa. They say that's why people sometimes heard terrifying screams coming from the place.
Oh, is the demon still there?
No idea. Rumor says she escaped, but I wouldn't worry. There's no way she'd stick around here.
That's what you think. She's right here, so you'd better watch out.
Stop messing around already.
The nights are so cold of late. It's gotten harder to get flamestone, too.
I hear the port at Helavis is at a near standstill. No matter how much flamestone they mine from Mount Killeraus, they can't get it shipped out. I'm sure the Abbey is aware of the situation. It's not just us who are suffering. We have to endure.
Times like these is when we need to practice Lord Artorius' teachings. The many outweigh the individual.
Exactly. I'm sure Lord Artorius will think of us soon and send aid.
He doesn't give a damn about any of you.
How dare you!
The many outweigh the individual, right? Artorius wants to save humanity as a whole. Your individual troubles aren't important to him.
You have no idea what you're talking about. Aren't we part of the whole he wants to save?
What happy fools.
Sorry about that. She didn't get to see his speech, so she's been taking it out on everyone around her.
Really? What a troublesome kid.
But really, that speech was incredible.